Welcome to another episode of Moving to Maryland. Today we're going to talk about our favorite restaurants in Locust Point. But before we get into the restaurants, Nick, why don't you explain to people a little bit about the scene in Locust Point?
So Locust Point's much more of a chill residential neighborhood. You know, it's on the most southern part of the peninsula, so it's, you know, a close drive to Federal Hill and everything, but it's, you know, really, really quaint, really suburban. So they have really nice, great corner neighborhood spots, but also still close by. And technically Locust Point, there's a lot of major options as well, closer to the Federal Hill border.
Awesome. And Caitlin, what would you say one of your favorite places in Locust Point is?
Well, I would say Ekiben is like one of my favorite spots in the city, and now they just opened a location in Locust Point. So I would have to say that is always going to be my favorite.
Nominated for a James Beard Award.
Yep,
right?
absolutely. Their fried chicken is incredible. The tofu, amazing. The tempura broccoli, that's a real sleeper. Really wouldn't have thought, but I mean...
Well, I think with the little bit of sausage they put in there.
Oh,
it makes you eat your veggies.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
My favorite spot would be, it's actually a little bit outside of Locust Point, but it would be Nick's Fish House.
Okay.
Had one of the best soft shell crab cakes I've ever had there.
Yeah, and so where it's located, I would say that Federal Hill might claim that area, Locust Point might claim that area, right?
Just a little bit more southern.
Port Covington, now called the Peninsula.
Yep.
And what about you, Nick?
Himalaya House is definitely probably my favorite. It's a spot right on Ford Avenue, right across from Latrobe Park, so you really can't miss it, but it's very inconspicuous. It's a great family-run restaurant, super knowledgeable staff. It's eat in or take out. It's just a nice little neighborhood place, and my friend actually recommended it to me, and it was my first introduction into Himalayan and Nepalese food, and it's awesome. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, I think 1157 Bar and Kitchen is one of my favorites. The food's just really good. It's a small place. Doesn't have a lot of seating, but the food's really good. You know, I've been going to Whole Street Blues Cafe.
Classic.
For many years. Drive across from Canton. That was, back in the late 90s, actually. It was like, something we would drive for. They had a great breakfast, brunch, that whole setup. What about you, Josh? Any others you can think of that you really enjoy?
So I'm actually very envious of the people who reside in the Anthem apartment building, only because they have Amber, the restaurant Amber. They also
what's
have
that like?
That's more of like American cuisine. Hamburgers are really good. Just in the same building, they have Limoncello, which is more Italian cuisine, and also they have Taco Mama, which is Mexican.
Yeah, so that's definitely a hot location.
Yeah. Limoncello is a really awesome restaurant. It's Sicilian style food, so it's a lot of seafood based dishes for people who kind of don't really stand seafood, but they do have a lot of other things. But they're homemade pastas, pizzas from scratch, great staff. The decor in that place is so cool, and they have an outdoor seating patio for especially now when the weather's nice, you can eat outside. They have this one, it's like pappardelle zuccarella. That's what I always get every time. It's crab in like a saffron cream sauce. It's to die for, literally. Yeah.
And that is really
Mamma
right on the border of Federal Hill, Locust Point, right?
Yeah.
So we talk about this in all the neighborhoods, and we talk about restaurants. I mean, you can get to some of the Federal Hill restaurants we've talked about in some other episode, in the Federal Hill episode. But literally right there at the border, you also have the oyster, the big oyster.
Local Oyster.
Local Oyster.
Just opened. They've been working on that place for a while.
Yep.
Their food's really good.
You also have right across the street Wiley Gunters, which is like a really kind of like art, like the best way I can not say artisan, but funky sandwich shop. Great beers on tap, great specials, great burgers, everything you can think of. And then on the other side of Southside Marketplace, which is kind of your main shopping center for people who, grocery shop, is a newer restaurant that opened last year called Copper Shark. It's a little bit more upscale, so it's great for date night. It's great if you have like parents or family coming in. But the food is absolutely wonderful.
It's where the wine bar used to be?
It's where a wine bar used to be. And they're really known for just like, they have these seared scallops, which are just like awesome. They do a big like 32-ounce tomahawk steak for two that you can do. Like, it's really like, it's very upscale food. It's a great spot.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Another place didn't think of off the top of my head, but I really love Barracudas, and now it burnt down and then they rebuilt it over the last
It's
year.
back. Yeah.
Billy's Barracudas. If you guys haven't been,
I love it.
yeah, just it's just a classic Baltimore corner bar. Great, it's like a Cheers, you know, like everybody knows everybody in there.
Yeah.
and the food's really really good.
They have the great part about it is they have a really big menu, so they have something for everybody, and they do specials every day. So they come up with whatever they decide to, and whatever you get there is good.
Yep.
You got the Iron Rooster,
Can't forget the Iron Rooster.
Famous for the Pop-Tarts. Cooked daily.
three pop. I love we go to the Iron Rooster. Oh God, probably like 2 or 3 times a month. And my wife sent me a picture. Her and my son went to the Iron Rooster last weekend, and I wasn't there. And she sent a picture because she always gets the kids meal for our 2-year-old that comes with a Pop-Tart, and I always eat his Pop-Tart.
Is it like half a Pop-Tart, or is it they still give you the whole Pop-Tart?
Those are big Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like a small Pop-Tart in the kids meal. So she sent a picture of Flynn enjoying the Pop-Tart for the first time without his dad there.
Oh.
Wow, giving you some serious FOMO.
Yeah.
I bet after all that sugar, he was ready to hit Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, we hit Dave and Buster's quite a bit. So, what about some of your other favorites, Nick?
So, like a good classic for me is City Limits. It's a great neighborhood bar. Just kind of bar food, but it's really nice. You have indoor, outdoor seating, but it's become kind of a staple because it's also right across the street from Latrobe Park. So Monday nights we play soccer at Latrobe, and then everybody, once the games were over, just walk right across the street, have a couple drinks, maybe grab a bite, and do that. Really good food. Good, they have a little bit of everything, but a great place to hang out.
We have some really good friends that every time we go over to hang out with them, we go eat at City Limits, and it's a big, spacious place. Definitely got some elbow room in there. Some of the city places are small or narrow kind of thing. So
For sure.
Really like that.
Yep. I would say also can't forget about Peppa Flame. Got really good Caribbean food, jerk chicken, something a little bit different. I think that's the only Caribbean spot in Locust Point specifically. So if you're looking for, that kind of spicy Caribbean experience, that's the spot for sure.
Taco Mama's got some really good tacos and Mexican food.
Enchiladas, quesadillas, you name it.
The whole If you think of neighborhoods like Fells Point, in Upper Fells Point, you might have like 15 Mexican food places or Spanish food places, and not a lot of offerings in Locust Point for Mexican food, but they have some really good. I've done lunch there a few times, and it turned out really good. Any other favorites you can think of?
McDonald's has some really good apple pies as well.
Hey, if you're a McDonald's fan, that's one of the few McDonald's in all of right there, Southside Shopping Center, right?
Yeah.
So known for their apple pie.
Yeah.
So Caitlin, Nick, Josh, myself, we're all real estate agents with the Greatest Moves team. We're based out of the city. If you're interested in Locust Point or any of the surrounding communities, reach out to us. Our contact info is in this post in the video. Look forward to seeing you next episode.